We've made it. Before we start, let's drop in. Okay, we've arrived. Let's get into it. Welcome to my YouTube. My name is Jessica Ashley Gill. Some of you might know me from To Be Magnetic. I'm the host of the Expanded podcast. But welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Expanded. We have the How to Man. You can't see it behind me, can you? Well, if you are looking at the video, we have the How to Manifest book. I'm To Be Magnetic's Chief Content Officer.
This is Jessica, Chief Content Officer at To Be Magnetic.
I help develop all of the workshops and I love it. This is going to be a little different than probably anything you've ever seen from me before. I've been filming with a camera since I was a kid. I've been very lucky that my parents had like a gigantic camcorder from back in the day. They would film everything. Like we have tapes and tapes and tapes of VHSs. So many moments of our childhood and growing up. As soon as I was able to use and figure out how to make do things with the camera, I started recording. I've also been documenting on my phone, and as the tech got better, I'd film more, and I feel like this is kind of the perfect synthesis of all of that. It's funny because I had this whole intention with the YouTube that I wasn't going to make it into this like time crunch or this content cycle. There's like harmonious astrology going on today, and I'm feeling this like intensity to get it out this week and time it with everything. And it's like, that's the exact thing I was trying to avoid doing. I wanted it to be its art form, to tell me when it was done, to not be on like a content cycle hamster wheel. And I feel like I'm constantly having to catch myself between, oh, that's good alignment, that's good strategy, that's good that, with like what wants to come out. And I've just been editing for the past like 3 hours and it's just barely getting to a place where I'm like, okay, now I see the bones of the episode. Part of that's perfectionism. I mean, it's the first one. It feels like I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself for it, but also I'm not. Like I've already let go of like 10 ideas that I've had that I wanted to make it like elevated in some way. I'm also not using pro cameras. I'm using my phone. I'm using like a DJI. A lot of people use that. It's a great vlog camera. It's just not like a cinematic camera necessarily. And I'm like feeling the call for like cinema. Should I get like an Ari Alexa for my vlog? No, let's not do that. But yeah. Feeling okay, I'm getting ready to go on a hike. I'm in my guest bedroom. Really have to work on the decor in here. I am probably 80-90% done with the edit for episode 1. Like I'm just sort of documenting this process in real time of what's coming up, and it has me thinking so much about beginnings and how hard it is to get that very first thing out. Like there is the most resistance, the most overthinking, the most loops and loops and loops and loops and loops before that very first thing. Like I can think of great ideas for episode 2, 3, 4, 5, all the things, but episode 1 for some reason, I think in part because I feel like I need to contextualize myself, because I feel like the majority of people who are going to watch probably know me from TBM, so I feel like I should kind of speak to that. But then there's this other part of me that's like, don't lean on that at all. Like just be, Jessica, and they discover you here. And I'm like, but that's not who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the 100 people that have already subscribed who know me from TBM, so it would be weird to not speak to it. So these are the things going on in my head. This is like an actual brain dump of what is coming up before this launch. I had all these expectations. I recorded all this content of like what I wanted for it, what I was gonna cover. And then I've re-edited it so many times to this point where I'm like, I don't know what the heck this is gonna be. I have no idea. Like I'm basically flying by the seat of my pants, which is recording when I feel called to record, and then editing and then seeing what comes out and seeing if I like it. And if I hate it, I'd record something else. And it's messy. And I don't know, I guess I say this all because if you're about to begin something, whether that's a YouTube or content creation or a Substack or anything where you are putting yourself, your work, your essence out there, I guess just know that no matter what level you're at and how long you've been in it, when you're doing it new or it's a new brand or a new version of you, it's gonna be pretty wonky. It's normal to have resistance, but just keep fighting through it. Keep taking action steps. The beginning is messy. The beginning is like all of the self-doubt and the questioning. I am convinced at certain points, I'm like, this is so cheesy and corny. I hate this. This is horrible. And then I'm like, wait, I come back like a day later. This is actually pretty good. I kind of like this. This is funny. This is good enough. And if you are ever in that creation zone and you ping pong between those two extremes and you're kind of like, well, who do I trust? The version of me who thinks this is bad and the version of me who thinks it's good enough. I guess you have to split the difference, or step through the fear and just test it out and put it out anyways. And even if it is bad, so what? At least you got something out. And then you can get to idea 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm really talking to myself here. So this is where I'm at. Beginnings. Now overthinking the video I just recorded. 100 degrees. The last thing I'll say on beginnings before I go on this hike is just how different the pressure or the expectation or the procrastination is when it is a solo venture versus a team. Because when it is something with like the TBM team and we're doing it together and we're in it and we're like, this is the vision, we're so excited, or any other project or a consultant thing or anything I've worked on with anyone, there's so much momentum in the group setting. And I think when you're doing something completely on your own, it's just a totally different beast. And some people are more wired for one or the other. I actually think I thrive in the group one, but I like the freedom of the independent one. So I don't really have a takeaway there, but just my thoughts. There is nothing better than a walk in like a neighborhood that inspires you or in nature. I'm convinced it's like the best thing for the nervous system. This is how I come back to self every day, as many days as I can do it. Oh, so good. So good. So a couple of things I've learned before even putting out episode 1. 1, progress over perfection. It's a lesson we all know, but I had to repeat this so many times to myself. Daniel had to repeat this to me. I, in my head, was like, wouldn't it be so cool if I just like hit in this way and did this and felt like a music video and oh my God, all the things. And as much as that is cool in your mind, no one actually wants to see that, especially not for your first video. Because if you think about it this way, people, if you're going to be a really good expander for someone, right? Like if you're going to model for them, like how it's possible for them too, showing actually where you're starting, which usually means like not having it all figured out, not having it together, is way more expensive than having the most buttoned up, cleaned up, high done version, because no one can really relate to that. So share your messy versions. My second tip that I was thinking about is film with intention. I filmed 2 months worth of content, literally was just filming any B-roll I had, like cute moments of my day, not in any sequential order, and a bunch of rants and mind dumps and ideas I had, and none of it connected, and there was no finish point, there was no through line. Even the B-roll was like all these cute moments, but it's like,
what's the day? What's the story? Where am I? Why am I in all these places? It doesn't make any sense. Film a beginning, middle, and an end, not just random B-roll, and also film a theme, a topic, versus a million mind dumps and then try to stitch them together. For example, I set the intention to film this hike, this Saturday afternoon hike, because I wanted to capture the full moon. It's almost full moon on Sunday. Full moon rising. I want to capture golden hour, one of my favorite neighborhoods to hike in. Beginning, middle, end. I'm going to meet up with Theo and Daniel, and you'll get a really cute video of him playing in the park. Check the end of the YouTube, and then give you guys some insight of what it's like creating the first one and to push through that resistance. That was my intention. We'll see if it landed.
What has gotten in the way of pressing publish? I actually got the ping to create a YouTube channel about a year ago. And if you're familiar with the To Be Magnetic work, ping is the term that Lacey Phillips, the founder of To Be Magnetic, coined. And it's basically our higher self, the universe, inner knowing, our inner wisdom, pinging us in voices, mind's eye, with an idea of the direction and the path we're supposed to go on. It's that little nudge, it's that little pull that says, go to this coffee shop today, or check out this thing, or launch this thing, or reach out to that person. And in the moment, it may seem like it's not a big deal, but if you look at a ping back over time, it was usually a breadcrumb helping you lead you to this, which leads you to this, which leads you to this, or can lead you directly to a manifestation. So the pings that you get are really the higher knowing guiding you on your path of most alignment. So I got this ping over a year ago. I took almost no action on it except for thinking about it all the time and wondering what I was going to do and how I was going to produce it and what I wanted to say, and just thinking about so much. And I think I let my monkey mind sort of take over and try to think of all the potential outcomes and outliers and like how to do it right, as if there's one way to do it. I kept thinking like, what's the right way for me to do it this time? And, really just overthinking it so much. I also didn't know anyone that was creating on YouTube. I had one person that I watched her YouTube vlogs like monthly whenever she'd post them. And other than that, I really wasn't watching much on YouTube. Last year, we started posting our podcast, Expanded Podcast, to YouTube. And I started getting a taste for like, okay, this is how podcasts run on YouTube. But beyond the podcast episodes, other creators on there, I was like, I need to find some people that I really resonate with and like want to sit and watch their stuff. I finally started taking action and creating content for my YouTube, but it didn't really have a clear direction, and I was kind of dragging my feet, and I would make progress, and then I just like wouldn't touch it for a couple weeks. Then I'd make progress, and then I wouldn't touch it for a couple weeks. And this pattern continued, and it was a bit of self-sabotage. And ultimately, one of my favorite expanders in the space of just creators and entrepreneurship, Grace Andrews, who used to be the head of all marketing, directing, brand direction, everything for Diary of a CEO and Flight Studio, which is a podcast I really admire. I think they do incredible things there. She launched her YouTube, and she shared it from, this is day one, we're building it together, here we go, step by step. And that really gave me almost like a wink from the universe saying, if you really look up to this person and respect what they do, they're building from ground one and they're admitting they're not sure what they're doing, and you're so excited to watch the journey, why wouldn't you think someone would feel that about yours? And maybe not to the same scale or different topics and all the things, but it was that last bit of expansion I really needed to finally move forward in launching this YouTube. I know how hard it can be to get that first thing out, how hard it is to step through that fear, how all the internal battles and things and reasons in your mind of why, this can be better. Just here's your reminder to get it out there. See where you can be your own expander in it too, because I have only had a ping this strong that lasted this long, like a year. It kept coming to me every time. I was like, what actions can I do to continue my career and be in more alignment? It was like, launch your YouTube. I was like, I don't want to do that right now. The only other time I had a ping similar to that happen is when I got the ping to launch my own podcast. And this is back in 2015, 2016. And at the time I was moving from working in television production and on sets and writing and producing and all of those things to wanting to work for more wellness, self-development, self-actualization, like how to help people create their dream lives, basically. As I was in that transition, I kept asking the same question. What else can I do to help further this journey? How can I contribute? How can I show up to the universe? And besides reaching out to people and all the standard things you do when you're looking for another career path, it kept coming up to launch my own podcast. And I was like, okay, fine. Like I know how to edit. I know how to interview. I've done this stuff before. Fine. I'll launch a podcast, but I don't really see how it connects. It's going to cost me money and time. This seems like a frivolous pursuit at the moment. It wasn't after my first episode and it wasn't after my second. It was after my 11th episode that a friend sent me a posting that To Be Magnetic, the company that I now work with and have been working for the past 6 years, made a posting that they were hiring a podcast producer. And I was like, that's why. That was the through line. Like that podcast producer role got me in the door at this company that I had a much bigger purpose for working with and helping build and create with them. And following that ping and listening to that ping was the thing that got me in the door that allowed me to then rise up within the company and really help build something incredibly beautiful there. Just so wild thinking back. Had I not followed that ping to launch the podcast, I may not have gotten hired. And maybe eventually I would have gotten hired there through a different path or different means. But since going in there, we have grown the podcast from, when I joined, it was at like 2 million downloads to 40 million downloads. I'm helping create all of their workshops, like working side by side with all of our psychologists and neuroscientists and Lacey, the founder, and just putting this incredible work out into the world. And there's not a day that goes by that I'm in LA that I don't spot someone when I'm out in public who comes up to me and shares like how the work has impacted them and the beautiful things they were able to manifest and what it means to them and how they've really transformed something massive in their life. And the fact that I get to do this meaningful work because of that, like that ping helped me get there, that's where you really got to trust them. So despite having that as my example, it still took me a year. Okay, let's just not forget. It still took me a year. If you are at that edge and you are trying to get yourself to get the thing out the door, just have faith. It'll sort itself out. And the first thing is not going to be good and it doesn't need to be good and it's okay. And this is probably a rambling mess anyways. I'm really proud of myself for showing up and doing this and not letting my absolute perfectionism take over. I was initially planning on essentially creating a short film for this first one. Do I feel proud of this? Do I feel inspired? Do I look at them like, yeah, that was good. I love that. Like I want that feeling for everything I put out. That should be my through line. Even if it doesn't do anything, I want to feel excited by it. Like what's the point if not, but then you have to check that and getting it to a place where you do feel excited by it to the perfectionist piece, which is like, okay, what about this and this positioning and this, think of this. And if you are someone who is about to publish on anything in your life for the first time, keep going. Don't back out. Don't talk yourself out of it. If you felt the ping to do it, there is a reason. Keep freaking going. Honestly, this is the video to watch if you're about to publish because just do it. If you're watching this, it means I did it, so you can do it too. Let's do it. Did I say that clearly enough? We could do a second take. That was a good one. To look back on this first episode and absolutely cringe. This is just the warmer-upper, Gotta get comfortable. I feel like I need to yawn. I'm anxious. Okay. Yes, you can see me in my mirror. I'm in the middle of redoing The Office a little bit. This is a long-winded end to the story, and it's not a really good climax, so I do apologize. Maybe it does. Anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. I just don't. It's actually a good tip. Tip came through. Back to my vision. solve any crime by dinner time. Sounds perfect. What else do we have to say about this? 11:11! Guys, I've been getting 11:11 a lot lately. Record my vlog. I can't believe this is the first one. This is kind of messy. Also clean this up in the attic.